afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of April, and I'm delighted to be talking to James Gibson, who recently broke the record for a double Paddy Buckley round. So he has entered the waiting room. I'm afraid I'm flying solo today. So let's get him in and get cracking. Hugh, how are you?
All good, thanks. All
Oh,
good. Enjoying the sunshine.
yes, finally.
No worries.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Double Paddy. Um, I mean, I've seen that you said it was harder than the double bob. I think the
yeah,
conditions were probably harder, weren't they? Um, do you think it's a harder round anyway? What?
yeah. So I guess I was always wasn't sure whether the Ramsey was harder or the Paddy. I could never decide what was harder. But after doing that twice, I feel that that is much harder than the Ramsey doing that twice. So it's
Yeah.
more I guess with the Paddy, it's like it's never there's never like a runnable section. So for example, on the bob. You've got if you do it clockwise, you've got leg five, which is quite a long section on the road at the end, and then same again on
Yeah.
the Ramsey. There's like a good trail that links the Mamors, for example, to the back three,
Okay.
um, and that's fairly flat. Whereas the Paddy, it doesn't have that. It's just basically from one range or mountain range to the next, and there's no like flat section in between. And not only that, like the Paddy has so much like rugged, hard terrain, like boggy, for example, and after the winter, everything was just waterlogged. It was really hard to move on the flat sort of
Yeah.
parts in the second round. So yeah, it just made it harder. And then obviously add in like the weather that I had on the second round, it was brutal. So
Gosh, yeah. I mean, yeah, especially, I mean, it was really windy, wasn't it? So, I mean, places like
yeah,
um Trifan and must be
yeah.
pretty
So I
spicy.
guess on that second round, like I knew. So when I set out to do it, I planned it. Well, I also been wanting to do it for like 3 months. I left between the double bob and attempting this. And
Hmm.
like 10 days out, the weather was sounding, just like it is this week, like nice and sunny, high pressure, not much wind. And then typically in the UK, it's just like deteriorating every sort of day as it starts getting closer.
No.
To the point where it was like on the cusp whether it was like whether to reschedule it. It was like, it was suggesting, well, I think 3 days before it was suggesting nearly 70. It was like high end 60s. And then, a day out, I think it dropped to like low 60s gusting on that second day. Um,
Okay.
and that's like looking at Snowdon, for example. Um, and yeah, basically, I knew going into that second round that it was going to be hard. And it was, I just accepted it. And yeah, well, I mean, it definitely lived up to what the forecast was. But yeah, like starting that second round, I went clockwise in the second one. So I came out of Lambaris, that's where I started. And then
Right.
you work your way over the glitters down towards Triffin. And it was like as I came down towards Triffin, like early hours of the morning, that's when the wind really started to pick up. And I remember stopping and like asking the sport crew like if they're happy going over that ground like with that wind, just because I wanted to just check in and make sure everyone was
Yeah,
happy.
yeah.
It's because obviously it's pretty
Yeah.
gusty, and anyone that's been up Triffin, it's just like really rough. And everyone was happy. And then yeah, like just getting buffeted it around and stuff, and then the rain came properly on the next leg, which is the Canada leg. And then it was
Yeah.
like snow on the tops, and yeah, obviously that combined with the wind was, yeah, it was hard work. And then yeah, I knew the wind was going to be at its strongest when I was like, I guess on the lower part of the paddy, which is like the long leg. So if you're going clockwise, it's basically Capel to Nantmore. It's like I can't remember the length of it. It's like nearly 30 odd k, but we're heading southwest, like straight into the wind. So,
Okay.
like, but
It's
thankfully we
hard.
weren't as high as like Snowdon or Canada or anything like that. So, but yeah, it was still really really hard work just trying to move through it. So
Yeah. I was going to ask, I mean, what, yeah, I mean, the your support crew are are they your responsibility? I mean, do you? it must be difficult when it is such extreme conditions. Is
Yeah,
everyone out there on their own back and sort of sign a waiver? How does it
yeah. I
work?
mean, yeah. I guess it's I guess people accept the risk, and
Mm,
you'd hope that a lot of folk know how to like read the weather. And when I set up like WhatsApp group and stuff, I did mention about like obviously deteriorating conditions, and if people weren't happy,
mm,
then I completely understand. Um and yeah, people are a lot of foul runners are pretty clued up on conditions and looking after
yeah.
themselves anyway.
They're going to be really experienced, assuming, I'm assuming here that the people that helped you are
Yeah.
very experienced on that terrain and course anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so to be honest, a lot of folk that I had supporting me, and everyone was amazing. There was a lot of people that I didn't actually know beforehand.
Mm,
So unlike obviously I live in the lakes, so a lot of people that helped support me on the double bob, for example, like there were people that I knew, and helped them, and they helped me on stuff previously. So that wasn't. I guess I was familiar with a lot of people on it, but on the paddy there was there wasn't many people at all that I knew. So it's really cool just having conversations with folk, getting to know people. But I guess that's the amazing thing about fire running, right? And trail
yeah,
running. Like
yeah,
people always want to help other people achieve things. So
yeah,
yeah, basically like just on the Facebook Paddy group, I asked, told people what I was doing, rough timings around what the legs would be, and yeah, I managed to get at least two on every single leg, so that's 10 legs in
yeah,
total. And yeah, people drove from hours away to come and help, and not only that, on the road crossings as well. So yeah, it's just amazing.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is going
brilliant.
to sound awful, but is there a risk of people offering their services who, with all the right intentions, but aren't actually up to the task? They just think they are, and they just think, oh, this is really exciting. I want to be part of this. I can help you, but actually perhaps aren't up to the speed you're going or something.
Um, yeah, I mean, I try and put out a schedule. I try and make it realistic to what actually it's going to be on the day or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess um, people sometimes like how do I say this? Some people maybe just not can't keep up, but I don't know how
Yeah, I
to,
mean,
how to
you
say it
are, but
politely.
you are.
But I
No,
mean,
I mean you are an
yeah,
elite runner, and not many people, they might know the terrain really well, but it is ultimately down to keeping up, isn't it? And
yeah, and
um,
obviously when you add weight into the pack, like carrying food and water and all that stuff, that obviously has a toll as well. And there's me with
mm,
nothing but walking poles
yeah,
or whatever. It's like
yeah.
I totally and understand
You're
and
at
stuff.
racing weight.
Yeah, but I mean, like most folk, have no issues at all really.
No,
It's
no.
just like I guess when you're fresh legs and maybe you're trying to push a little bit on the first round, for example, then
Mm,
sometimes the splits might be a little bit quicker, and that obviously has an effect
yeah,
as well.
yeah. Slower
But
runners apply for the second round.
yeah, everyone's sound. Yeah, I'm just
Oh,
very
well, that's
grateful
good.
for people dedicating their time as well. So,
yeah, yeah.
because
Oh,
I guess when I
absolutely.
did the double bob as well, it was the day after Boxing Day, so it was like during the Christmas period and stuff, and people have got
Yeah.
families, and people come out, and yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, I imagine, having moved up here now, I can see it's a much easier thing to offer help when it is something you could just go out and do for a couple of hours. I mean, you could go out and help someone do, like yourself, do a round like this because you're not actually driving for miles or out
Yeah.
for days.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
so the next double is the Charlie, I assume.
Yeah.
Have you got
Yeah.
plans for that?
Yeah. So I guess I'll talk about the whole double sort of not plan, but I guess when
Yeah.
I wanted to win a challenge that was fairly local to me this year. and I guess the thing that came to my head was like a double bob, like no one had done it in winter, so
Mm.
it just seemed like a an obvious thing to maybe try,
Yeah.
um, and the whole like doing the doubles after that was never part of the plan. So my A goal for this year originally, which now isn't happening, but was to try and do all three back to back. Not like the same style as John Kelly did, where he biked in between, but to like transport in between. That was initially going to be my
Mm.
target for this year. And then I guess when the double bob went to plan, sort of even better than I anticipated, then I guess the
Yeah.
obvious thing was why not try and I guess do all three, but maybe like set a time frame of doing that as well. So I guess for me, like the obvious thing came like 6 months. Like, why not try and do it in 6 months? Because that sort of leaves an opportunity to train in between.
Hmm.
So you can leave like 3 months in between thereabouts. So you can recover well, train a bit, and then taper
Yeah.
and try again. So yeah, I guess for me, like, yeah, I'm attempting the double Ramsey the start of June. So the first weekend in June is my plan for that,
Okay.
and hopefully it's conditions similar to like it is now. Um,
Yes. Yes, that would
so
be nice.
yeah,
Uh, so no, because I mean, I suppose the first two were technically winter rounds, weren't they?
no. So the
No.
first one was
Yeah.
so winter actually ends the last day of February.
Oh, does it?
Even though it
Wait
was
a minute.
wintry, yeah.
That's
But
a bit early, isn't it? Who set
yeah,
that
yeah, I
time?
know, I know. Especially in Scotland, like you can have
Yeah.
wintry conditions, like more
Well,
so in
and
March than you can.
Snowdon.
Yeah, well,
Um,
and so yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
that's
even
very
even though it
early.
was
Okay.
even though it was wintry, it doesn't
Yeah.
count.
Oh, okay. All right. So I was going to say, does yeah, okay. So that makes it. So do you think you'd like to do, tie all three in together, another time? Is that still something you'd like
No,
to do? Do you think you'll be sick of them now?
well, I'm not sick of them. They're amazing, but I mean, I've done all of them like quite a few times now, and then yeah, I mean, obviously doing them twice again. I
Mm,
think after
mm,
this, I'll probably be satisfied. Um,
yeah. Yeah.
but oh, who knows? I don't
Yeah.
know. But
Um,
there's lots of things
h-
out there as well.
yeah. How much does it help to know where you're going? If you've done them all several times with things like the Charlie coming up, are you able to rely less on someone acting as a guide because you know the route? Does that help the flow at all?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps, like having local knowledge of or Requiem parts and just knowing like maybe where better lines are. I
Mm,
think that definitely helps. Uh, I guess like certainly knowing how to navigate with a map and compass is probably a very important skill. Even though technology these days, like it's very easy to put it on your
mm.
watch and to sort of follow a line on your watch.
Are
But
you
yeah, I mean,
actually stopping with a map and compass when you're going for the
no,
record? I can't imagine you.
no,
Yeah.
no. So yeah, I
No.
mean, to be honest, I just a lot of my nav is on my watch these days, and I guess everyone probably falls into that trap of like it's so easy to navigate with technology these days than it is
Mm,
to like do it old school like map and compass. But
mm,
I think although those skills are still very important, and I had a map
yeah.
and compass with me in case anything, obviously technology dies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I guess like having a mixture of like recceing the route, knowing the route, and having a backup being
Mm,
obviously the map.
yeah.
Yeah, is important. Um,
Did your
because I guess well,
yeah.
you've recently passed your mile, yeah? Is that right?
Um uh 2 years
Well,
ago. Yeah.
2 years ago,
3 years
sorry,
ago.
2 years ago,
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously doing. ML work and stuff in the lakes, you'll get to just know the route. And
Yes.
I guess
Yeah.
things like, Scaffold Pike, for example, there's, even though I have a map and compass in my bag, like I know I can do that in any conditions whatsoever because I've been up
Yeah.
there hundreds of times on three peaks and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But
Three times this week.
oh, right, there you go. Yeah. So you just
Yeah.
be so familiar with the ground, and like what cairn means what the rocks look like on that plateau at the top. It's just
Although I will say it's we passed on Saturday we came up from Seathwaite Farm,
yeah,
and that it was quite claggy, and my there was a couple of people in my group who were wanting to get down because they were
yeah, yeah.
freezing, and they
Mm,
were darting ahead. I'm kind of darting out. I'm watching them to
yeah.
keep an eye on them more through the crowds. I mean, I can't believe it. And then I suddenly realized, wait, hang on a minute, we've passed the turning and they were
Mm.
going down the road to Wasdale. So
Oh God.
you
Yeah.
gotta be sharp, I must
Yeah,
say.
exactly. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, oof,
And that
keeping those ducklings together. Oof.
yeah, that's why, I guess people hire people like us and yeah, keep them
Yeah.
safe on the hills. So
Do you think your mountaineering background helps you, especially in the winter conditions and the really
ah,
hard terrain?
absolutely. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like I guess I've been working in the hills now for like over 10 years. I don't work in the hills as much as I used to now. And
Mm,
I, previously I used to work pretty much, in the summer, I guess, every day almost. And now I I just don't do as much as I used to. So I just pick and choose a lot of the work that I do. So a lot of climbing, mountaineering work is sort of my
mm,
sort
nice.
of go-to now, both in summer and winter. But yeah, I mean, over a long period of time, I've had experiences myself, just personally, just climbing
Mm,
and I guess running as well in those environments, and I guess knowing more around winter conditions and how to stay safe, and what
yeah.
avalanche hazards and yeah, all that sort of stuff, and how the snow reacts and that sort of stuff as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
100%, like yeah,
Mm,
experience over time really, rather than trying to rush that sort of stuff is very important.
yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So you do like doing in different challenges, don't you?
Mm.
You did the Martin Moran, is it? Moran
Yeah,
round
yeah.
last year. Um, what is it? I never heard of it, but in the Torridon Mountains, I mean, it did look amazing. How do you find out about these quirky little things?
Yeah. So I guess probably everyone is similar, but they have like a tick list of like maybe routes or races or challenges, whatever it might be, of like what
Mm,
maybe they want to do one day. And mine is ever growing, but yeah, I have like a huge list of challenges that I'd
yeah.
love to do one day. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess going back to when I first started foul running, it was like nearly 10 years ago now, actually. Um, I, through a friend and stuff, I discovered gofar.org, which is like it's a website.
It's a bizarre website, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it's really
ancient.
cool. But
Yeah,
yeah, I guess when I started running, like
I'd
that's what
forgotten
I would
that.
go to. Yeah, that's what I would go to
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
find inspiration to take on, do different
Mm,
challenges. And then yeah, I guess over time you discover other things. The Martin Ram round is actually
mm,
fairly sort of recent. I can't remember the exact date when it was, but it was after Martin obviously passed. Again, I can't
yeah.
remember the date, but yeah, Robin Downey created this sort of route, and yeah, I mean, running around Torridon and the fell in the hills in Torridon and stuff, and linking up all these amazing scrambles, like you just can't beat it. And again, I guess it was weather similar to probably what it is
Mm,
today, like really sunny, no clouds, but obviously a lot warmer. And
yeah.
yeah, it's just that ultimate sort of day
When
out,
all the
really.
planets align.
Mm. Yeah, and I happened to be when I was working up there as well, so sort of timed that well.
Brilliant. Oh,
But,
and the outlying fells,
yeah.
248 miles.
Mm,
Did
yeah.
you complete that?
No. So
No.
this was
I'm trying to remember. There was something. There was an issue, wasn't there?
yeah, that's it. So last year I had a few things that didn't go well, essentially, due to injury. Most like yeah, pretty much due to injury, both of them. But
Okay.
I'd never done a race before, so last year I guess my A goal for the year was to do race across Scotland. But obviously before
Okay.
that, so that was August. But yeah,
Mm.
before that, in around this sort of time, actually early April, I had an attempt on the outlying fells. So no one has sort of linked them all up together. So yeah, it seemed like the obvious progression, obviously from the Wainwrights, was to try and
Mm.
maybe link up all the the last book of the Wainwrights,
Yeah.
and obviously the hills are smaller, but it's getting to them in between. There was a lot of flatter sort of trail and road running, and I'm definitely a lot more suited to the hills than I am that. And I had done some training around flatter, running, I guess.
Mm.
But
Mm.
yeah, essentially, like it was all going well until my quads just stopped working, and I think it was just from sort of flatter running
The
conditioning.
shock of
So
having to run the whole time.
exactly, yeah, because it might seem silly, but on the uphills you actually get a break. Like I feel like you get a break. You're just power hiking. You're not like running
Mm.
hard or anything. Whereas flatter sort of trail or road running, you're running the whole time. Like you can
God.
obviously ease off, but yeah, just I think that had an impact.
Yeah.
And then uh, and then Race of Scotland again, like that was going really well until my quad stopped working again. So
Oh,
again, a similar sort of
okay.
thing. And it was it
Right.
was that bad that you could barely even walk. It just I've not had it obviously until last year. Like it was horrible. It just stops you in your tracks. Um, and then I guess after the outliers though, so going back to the bit in between, I
Yeah.
started doing more strength training. So previously I'd never done any strength training. Like it was definitely a gap in my training, that's for sure. And the way I
Mm.
used to see it was um, in the hills, like you carry a bag. I was up and down fells all the time with a bit of weight in the bag, and that was probably
Mm.
enough to keep any injuries away. Whereas
Mm.
now I'm a a coach. Sit in front of a computer for a lot of time. The running just wasn't enough to keep any injuries away. So I started doing more strength training. So sort of 2 quality strength sessions a week, and then yeah, I guess I've now like been doing it for well nearly a year. Started
Right.
to see some amazing results as a result, and I don't get injured as easy as I used
But
to. So,
do you think you just hadn't been doing it for long enough when you did race across Scotland then?
yeah, adaptation just takes time. So
Mm.
yeah, just there probably wasn't enough time frame in between. And
Yeah. Well, that's running lark is bad for you. You don't want to be doing
yeah,
that.
yeah. But, so yeah, I guess after that didn't go to plan. I was just like, I'm just gonna stay in the hills. Like that's what I enjoy. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I've
Yeah.
done since. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you mentioned, I noticed that you mentioned the time, the recovery time between the Bob and the Paddy
Mm.
and then the Charlie. So that sounds like you're being quite measured. What does your how how do you react to doing these double rounds? How does your body react, and what does recovery look like to you? I mean, are you I can't imagine you being destroyed, but I mean, what state are you in when you finished?
Yeah. So often, like after you finish something, like yeah, I guess 130 miles with, I guess the paddy was like 20,000 meters of ascent as well. So I guess it's a huge
Mm,
elevation. Um, So I know that whenever I do those sort of distances, I usually have an issue with my left foot. So that would be really stiff for like 5 days, usually around that sort of time frame, and just walking around it's just yeah, it's not really happening much. And then
Yeah.
it just ease up through the week, and then usually, so obviously just try and eat as much as you can. Sleeping's really not that great in the first week, really. Like
Yeah.
just the quality of
Physiologically.
the quality of sleep just isn't there, and you just sort of wake up and just not great. But then I guess after that first week, you, well, for me, like it's usually around sort of 6, 7. I might go for like an easy sort of ride to try and just get the legs spinning a little bit, try and get a bit of blood flow, and
Mm,
then often start usually picking up a little bit of running the week after. So what's that like? 10 days or so after maybe.
mm,
Um, but even though you might feel good, what I've recognised is that my HRV and stuff on my watch is all really low, and it's only just started to come back up. Like it's started to go balanced again.
right. Yeah.
Like even now, and that's like 3 weeks after. So even though it
Mm,
might feel
mm.
good, obviously my body's still like deep inside recovering. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
3 weeks for me after the paddy, like that's when everything starts, I guess, being back to fully normal. And again, it was similar for the bob. Like that was HRV. It took about 2 weeks or so to come up.
Mm.
Um,
Does
but
it
yeah,
does it, is the impact on you different? Like you say, with the bob, it's actually more runnable, whereas the paddy is more ascent. It's more
mm.
sort of hard, technical, less running. Is there one that's has less impact on your body?
I guess like obviously if the effort isn't as high, even
Mm.
though I was out longer, like I did the bob, what was it, like 5 hours quicker. So
Yeah.
I guess that I think it's around that.
Eight.
Yeah,
Eight
8. Sorry,
hours.
there you go.
Yeah.
So, but I guess the toll of running faster is going to be higher. So,
Yeah.
whereas with the paddy, I was probably hiking more because of the wind,
Mm.
um, and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I guess
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. It's
even though
that
it was
thing
longer,
again. See, it's bad for you.
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I guess the stress was probably higher on the bob than it was on the
Mm.
paddy. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Nutrition? Do you have anything particular you like or use or any cheese and pickle
um,
sarnies?
yeah, every time it's different. So I try and have like a really varied mix of food. So it's not always like I'd always probably resort to like savory being like pork pies, sausage rolls, and that sort of stuff. And then like a lot of bars. But I guess over the last year or so, I've tried to get better at like taking gels and carb mixes and that sort of stuff as well. Just it's easier to consume. So yeah, I've been using that a lot more, and especially like going into the night and especially a second night, trying to use like caffeine, and yeah, that worked really well on the second night of obviously the second round because yeah, my body just wanted to go to sleep. So
Do
and
you
yeah,
get any sleep? I mean,
no,
at all? No, there's not a
no.
not a
So
peep.
I hadn't scheduled any. So I think that's probably the longest time on the paddy. That is the longest time
Mm,
that I'd been awake without whilst continuously moving. Yeah, because that was like just under 51 hours, I think. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think previously that I'd done that duration. Without
No,
sleep.
not even when you did the rain rights.
Nah, because I was getting like an hour a night pretty much. So yeah,
Power
I
naps
was
here
actually
and
getting
there.
getting sleep.
Mm.
Whereas on this, I didn't plan any. I didn't
And
feel like I needed
how do you
any.
manage? Are you okay with that? I mean, you said the caffeine worked, but are there
Yeah,
moments when you've got that horrible, horrible feeling when all you want to do is sleep?
yeah. Oh, for sure. Like definitely, like I had that numerous times, especially like that second night. Like I said, there was
Mm,
certainly times where I just wanted to like just have a power nap for 5 minutes. But yeah, amazing support crew just sort of fueled me with caffeine and yeah, managed to keep moving. And then it's weird because as soon as the sun comes up, like the whole tight like wanting to go to sleep just I find it just disappears.
It's a
So
reset. Yeah.
yeah, it's like just a reset. So, but
And are you?
in the past I have just like dropped to the floor, had 5 minutes, and the difference it makes is massive. So
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe I should have just had 5 minutes and I might have moved a bit quicker.
It's
I
difficult to
won't be
tell,
finding
isn't
out
it?
again, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you okay eating? I mean, you're not one of these people that, you can't eat after 4 hours.
No, yeah, I mean, it's especially like I guess doing ultras and stuff like it's really important that you take on food. Like if you don't take on food, like there's no chance that I'm gonna try and get around 130 odd miles in the hills. It's not gonna
Mm.
happen. So I've never had an issue with like eating food. I've never like thrown up or anything like that. I've always
Mm.
managed to eat food.
It's
It's
not,
just
yeah.
sometimes it's getting the right food. Like you might have prepare for everything, but it's something else that someone has that you're like, oh yeah, actually, that'll
Yeah.
do.
I
So
want that.
I remember on the double bob, like friend Luke had like one of those, Rice Krispie squares. And at that
Yeah.
time, that filled the gap that I needed like really well. So he
Give me
supported
your
on
food.
another leg, and yeah, he brought some more. So, uh, but
Nice. I
just have
suppose,
to.
do you find yourself both as an athlete and a coach? There seems to be very much more focus now on grams per hour, 60, 90, whatever
Hmm.
it is. Do you, you do you apply that to yourself and to your athletes now, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the higher the intensity, usually, like the more carb intake you're going to need. So, I guess when we're talking about often staying like around zone two on stuff like this, like you're not going to need like 120 grams of carbs an hour. Like
Mm,
it's quite a lot.
yeah,
I feel anyway. I mean,
yeah.
everyone's different. Someone might need
Mm-mm,
that, but yeah, I mean, I'm not like I don't make a schedule in terms of how much is in each thing and how much I'm consuming an hour. I have a rough idea, so I know that if I take 500 ml of carb mix, which some are 90 grams, and
mm-hmm,
500 ml of water, then I know if I drink that in an hour, then I'm getting roughly around what I need, and anything
mm.
extra is a bonus, isn't it? So I have a rough plan in my head, but it's never like like
You don't measure it all out into little bags.
no, I'm just not that. Yeah,
No,
that's not me. So
no.
and when you're second day or whatever, it's just you want to just try and consume as much as you can, and whether that's on the leg itself or just at the road
Mm.
crossing, like having a warm meal and something proper to eat. Like, yeah, I know when I'm starting to get hungry because obviously you just feel it in your stomach and stuff like that. So it's just trying to make sure that you are putting it in.
Yeah,
Uh,
keep it topped up.
exactly, yeah, yeah. But
Mm.
I'm not like one of those people that have a
No.
schedule of how much I should be telling.
And gear, obviously, you're an Innovate athlete. Um, what would you say is your most important piece of gear that you know you're going to pack every time, no matter what you're doing?
Oh, good question.
Oh,
Well, shoes that are suitable for the terrain is
yeah.
definitely first and foremost, really.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, for me, like my favorite foul running shoe is Mud Talon Speeds, and I've wore them now for years since they've come out and stuff. So I really get on with them. I don't have any issues with my feet. I had no blisters whatsoever on the paddy. Like I think I changed my shoes like once or twice. No, twice, I think it was in the end.
right. Socks?
Um,
You change your
yeah, I didn't.
socks?
I think I changed the socks maybe like again similar, like maybe two or three
Uh,
times. But the
wow.
thing with the weather and the paddy is like I remember changing my shoes on the very last leg, um, and it was just before you like go up towards the Snowdon range. But I changed my shoes, and then you go across the road, and then you're literally straight into bog. So it's just like, what is the point? There's literally no
Yeah,
point in me changing my shoes.
they were
Um,
dry for a minute.
Yeah, is that like literally crossing the
Yeah.
road? That was it. So
Are you changing them? Are you putting the same shoe on? And
n-
do your feet swell? Do you have to like go up half a size?
so yeah, I mean, I've got different shoes, so I've got like multiple of the same shoe, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
previously, my feet have swollen, and I remember when I did the second Wainwrights, like I remember saying, like, or maybe the first one actually, it might be the first. I remember saying like, no, I've never had that before. Like, I don't think I'll need a big size. And then obviously, day 4 or 5 or whatever it was, like my feet had swollen like a whole size bigger.
Wow.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
guess unfortunately, like support crew had to go around and find some bigger
Need
shoes and
more
stuff. And
shoes.
yeah, and obviously kindly Innovate gifted that, and yeah,
Yeah,
that's where the
yeah.
I guess the relationship started really. Um, but yeah, I mean, on this though, I didn't feel like my feet swollen, and I prefer a wide fit, so I guess there's quite a bit of room in there anyway. If even if it does
Do you
swell.
look after your feet?
What in terms of like
I mean, in terms of
dry?
preparing them and making sure, I mean, do you, you know,
No, I mean, I don't
no,
do anything
you're just
different to
lucky.
what I do every day. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
I don't tape it. I don't, um, put Vaseline on or whatever it might be. Like, I just,
No,
yeah.
no,
So
you're just
I
lucky.
wear I wear in gingy socks though. Like, I've wore them for years now. Whether that
Okay.
helps, like the sort of
Yeah,
finger type ones.
yeah,
But
yeah. Do you
totally.
wear them by themselves or do you layer them?
No, I just wear them by himself. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
previously I have wore like I guess a waterproof sock over.
Mm,
I remember when I did the Cape Wrath, like yeah, I remember it being like pretty wet and stuff. So that helps keep a bit out. But I
mm.
just accept that I get wet feet, and
Yeah,
if I do
yeah.
feel like a hot spot or whatever, it's having being proactive with it and sorting it out early rather than later.
Mm. What about clothing wise?
Um, so yeah, I mean, obviously, Innovate Kit.
Mm,
Uh, with so they brought out like a Polartec sort of like mid layer this year, and I used it first time on the Bob, uh, sort of in December.
mm,
Yeah, December. And yeah, it's just like one of my go-to bit of kits now. I wore it on my ride and stuff today. Like it's super breathable, and it keeps you warm enough when it is cooler. And then
yeah, yeah.
when the weather yeah when the weather proper hit, I had just to keep all the wind off and stuff. I had like 2 jackets on, so like one of their obviously the storm shower, like the just sort of the running jacket,
Mm,
and then yeah, like sort of hiking jacket over the top, and that worked perfectly, and I didn't get wet at all,
mm, mm.
and yeah, obviously it kept me warm enough over the duration because yeah, I'd imagine my body was probably working a lot harder. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that double waterproof layer. I mean, I remember it was like one of those key light bulb moments on my ML assessment actually. Al Jones was saying,
oh
oh,
yeah,
because it was absolutely hoofing it down, hoofing it down. And he
yeah,
said, oh, well, just put another waterproof on. And it was like, oh my God,
yeah,
why did I never
oh
think
yeah,
of this
totally.
before?
Yeah,
But
definitely. Yeah.
but yeah, it's like two waterproofs. My God, that's genius.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it really
Twice the
works.
amount. But
Yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah.
it definitely works. And especially if
Mm,
it's windy and stuff as well. Like,
mm,
obviously the storm shell is more of like a summer jacket. So, if it's with it being really, really windy and stuff, you're going to feel that still. So,
mm.
yeah.
I mean, I think most people know that I do work for Innovate occasionally, so
Yeah.
declaring my interest there. But I must say that that climber shell is brilliant, isn't it? And
Hmm.
I mean, it's I don't know why, but it's it's similar but different to the performance hybrid.
Hmm.
But I'm wearing it all the time now. I
Yeah. Yeah.
pack it everywhere.
And it's super light
Um,
as well. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a
No, that
go-to bit
is.
of kit over the sort of I guess winter and spring at the minute.
Mm,
Yeah.
right, that's it, Innovate. That's all you're getting off me.
Yeah.
So after the Charlie, do
Hmm.
you have any more plans for the year, or is that it for 26?
Yeah.
Um,
So I spoke to Gary and Edwina yesterday actually on Tea and Trails. So I guess I told them as well.
oh,
But
okay,
but
right.
I so I'm like hopefully finish it in June, and then I'm really wanting. So I said when I think I might have told you actually previously, but when I did my Winter Wainwrights, like my next big thing that I really wanted to do was the Winter Munro round, and I wanted like that
Oh,
was that's always
okay.
sat at like the pedestal and like what I wanted to do. So 5 years
Wow.
later since I've done it, I'm mid 30s. I'm in hopefully in be good shape by then as well. And so it gives a 6 month build up from June all the way up to when I hopefully start it. So yeah, I guess that is
How
the
far
plan
is that?
currently. Oh, it's huge. it's
Yeah.
it's like I guess in summer it's obviously a month. Jamie Aaron's still got it, but in winter I'm fully expecting it to take like 2 months. So along,
Wow.
continuously. Like realistically, that's probably what it's going to take, and it depends on the winter. Obviously, if it's a really snowy winter, then it could be a little bit more. I don't know, but
I'm
so
desperately trying to remember the name of the woman who did it.
Jamie Aaron's.
Wells. Oh,
Oh, Anna Wells,
yes.
yeah,
Oh, Jamie and Anna Wells. They
yeah,
they
that's it.
both did it though, didn't they?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
did Jamie? Who did it more recently? Oh,
Helen Renard.
okay.
Yeah, so
And
she's
how?
now got the record.
Okay.
Can't remember exactly what it is, but it beat Anna's time, which was the year before. Yeah. Um,
Gosh, time slips away.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
But it was really cool, like her story. She just went out mostly by herself, and yeah, just
yeah.
went out and had all these cool adventures. And um, but yeah, I'm hopefully like let's get this out of the way first. But I want to do it
Yeah.
self-propelled, where I'm like human powered, so biking and kayaking and stuff. So yeah, I mean that
Yeah. I mean,
adds an
logistically,
additional challenge. Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
huge thing, isn't it? Logistically. Um,
Yeah, massive.
and yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
I've spoke to my fiance and I've mentioned obviously like what
Hey,
what
hey,
the
darling.
plan. Yeah, and she's on board thankfully, but
Yeah.
thankfully she
Oh,
can work
brilliant.
from home and stuff as well. So
So she can, yeah.
work from the van and yeah stuff like that. So. But yeah, I mean there's a
That's,
lot to sort out, and it's
I was going to
huge
say that's going
challenge.
to take 6 months of planning, isn't
It
it?
will do, yeah, it
Um,
will. But
and
yeah,
looking at those
that's the
others,
plan.
like Helen, and Jamie and Anna, and I suppose you're then looking at what they've done and where you can shave time off and how
Yeah, I mean,
on such a
it's
big
really hard to
event.
try and create a schedule, I guess, in winter
Mm.
because you might move better one week when there's not as much snow on the ground, whereas another week there might be loads, and you're just not going to cover the
And you
distance that you
can't get
planned.
out.
So
Yeah.
I guess it's just planning to be a bit more conservative, but I guess
Mm.
the whole schedule and maybe what that looks like has to be really dynamic as a result. So
Mm.
it's obviously quite stressful trying to work out support and stuff like that as well. But
Yeah, it's got
um,
to be really flexible, hasn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Malleable over the
Mm.
time.
But
Um,
yeah, that's my plan.
what about your coaching clients? You'll be there in the
Yeah.
evening in the van
That's
going,
another
right.
thing I need to think about as well. Um, yeah, there's a lot that needs to happen, but yeah, hopefully, seems like an obvious progression now
Yeah.
is to go towards that. So it'd be a great
Well, I
adventure
mean,
as
there's
well.
no doubt it's your strong point, isn't it? I mean, moving over hard terrain in winter.
Mm,
Um, yeah, that's
suffering basically is is the
you
title.
clearly enjoy it.
Well, I don't
Oh,
know.
well, James, thank you so much. I really appreciate you
No
chatting
worries.
to me, especially 2 days later than it should have been. Um, and yeah, I mean, I'll be keeping an eye out then um, on your on your socials? I mean, do you kind
Yeah, I
of
mean,
announce when you're going, or just
I'm
do
pretty
I should I
slack
rely on
with
Innovate for that?
yeah, I'm pretty slack with my social these days, actually, to be honest.
Mm,
But yeah, I mean, I'll I'll put out this sort of tracker link and you know
yeah,
say when I'm sort of doing it. But yeah, it's that first weekend in June is when I'm planning. So yeah,
excellent.
I need to actually start planning it. I booked accommodation, so I guess that's the first part, and then yeah,
Okay.
hopefully there's a lot of I guess anyone that's listening from Scotland, yeah, if you're
Yeah.
keen.
Any help? Any?
Anyhow,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess the planning process will yeah start soon, really.
Okay. Brilliant. Well, all the very best, and
Yeah,
yeah,
thank
good
you.
luck with it, and yeah, with the Winter Munros. Ooh, really looking forward to that.
Yeah, thanks. Great to chat to you as well.
Thank you.